3, 2, 1.
Why did you count down?
I just wanted it to be as easy as possible.
Oh. I thought you were going to, like, walk in on camera and say, welcome back to the Reverse Oreo Show.
And welcome back to the Reverse Oreo Show.
Live from Memphis, Tennessee. Woo!
I thought it was Houston, Texas.
This one hits close to home. We're going to be talking about the Moscow, Idaho murder investigation.
From Memphis, Texas... From Memphis, Tennessee.
We're not really from Memphis. We're actually based out of Clarkston, Washington. About 30 to 40 miles away from us. 4 people got murdered. Stabbed to death.
I've been up there before. I didn't see anybody get murdered.
That could have been us, dude. We were cleaning up there.
I'm sorry.
It's just, well, I don't know if it could have been us because we don't know his motives. And I think he followed the girl's, like, something about her OnlyFans. Something followed her OnlyFans. I don't know. A lot of this stuff that we'll be talking about, we really don't know shit. We're talking out of our ass. We're just going to be going over all the things we know. A lot of these are obviously allegations because the court case hasn't happened yet. He has been to trial. No. I don't know my court proceedings. I don't know the court process. He just got extradited from Pennsylvania and arrived at Moscow.
Okay.
And the people that filled the courtroom was a bunch of media and one of the slain women's, her family. It's just messed up. I guess let's just go over the timeline.
Pre-sentencing. He had his pre-sentencing.
Thank you for that. I need that. I really just don't know court proceedings.
Yeah, I'm not a court guy either, so Caleb would probably actually know the most out of all of us.
I'm not a fan of court.
Neither am
because my last name's Roberts. And the time I had to go to court, oh god, dude, just sitting through everyone else's BS.
Well, that's a story for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
Because Jesus. I don't think we ever talked about that on the podcast,
We've talked about Bullies of Blue.
Huh? Oh, yeah, huh?
But Bryan Kohberger, he is the suspect.
That's a funny name, bro. Kohberger, I'm sorry, okay?
He's the suspect, the main suspect, linked to the Moscow murder. Moscow is Moscow, Idaho.
Not Russia.
Rural Moscow, Idaho.
It's not even that rural.
It is pretty rural. I mean, the population is... It's not very... It's like, what, 50,000?
It's like 30,000.
30, yeah. It's not large at all. And people... Word of mouth goes around easy. You know people who know people. Your name can... it's not like New York or L.A. It's not like a massive city where you just blend in. Like, people know each other. It's like a community.
You don't just, like, get away with things.
Yeah.
You can't just... Like, people... Okay, well, this guy did it. We know it was him.
Yeah. And it's like... People were thinking that he was going to get away just because of the police department didn't release anything on it. But I think that was just to surprise him. Surprise attack.
Wasn't he in Pennsylvania or some shit?
That's where he was extradited from.
Yeah. That was probably a good plan to go literally across the country.
It wasn't, though.
I mean, he failed.
He failed.
But, like, where else are you going?
Why'd you go to your parents, dude? That's where you fucked up. Don't go to your family's house.
I think he fucked up in a lot of ways. The white car... That's what got him in trouble.
Should have painted it.
It's just not murder in general. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that was his first mess up. And potentially skinning a dog, but I don't know if that's related.
I don't know nothing.
First of all, what the fuck? No, I never heard anything about that.
What?
Second of all, we're not trying to tell you guys how to murder people.
We have no idea how to murder people.
Do not use anything we say.
This guy thought he did. Because he was, criminology, he's studying criminology, like he was going to be an investigator. Like he literally, and his teachers came out and said, this shocks me. This guy was like a smart guy in class. He always did his work, And his picture's going to be around, like you guys will know what he looks like. But he gives off serial killer vibes. But that's in retrospect, of course. You can say that about anybody when you get a mugshot of him.
Yeah, look at this.
But... No, dude, this guy actually looks like a loon, but his teachers said good things about him, and he was studying criminology through, I think he went to WSU, studied at WSU?
Yes.
Or they said that they're con from WSU.
Yeah, because he's the opposite of U of I, so, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, then he was studying out of Washington, and he was studying criminology, and he posted on Reddit basically, hey, this is a study that I'm doing. No, he was doing it out of the University of Pennsylvania. He was studying in Pennsylvania at the time. He did study at WSU, but I think he was finishing his studies in Pennsylvania. He put this questionnaire, the survey on Reddit, basically asking criminals, hey, how did you feel during this experience? What made you want to do this? What were the methods you used to, like, how did you plan for it? How did you prepare? Mostly how did you feel? He wanted to know how people felt. He wanted to get, like, in the minds of the criminals.
Which, honestly, for someone who's a criminology major,
it makes sense. It makes sense. It's studying, like, the questions he was asking wasn't outrageous. Where would you hide a body? How much weight should you put to make it sing? Like, it wasn't a bunch of weird shit. It was like,
hey, how do you escape from, like, killing 4 people?
How to scrub your DNA evidence from a crime scene? How did you prepare your DNA evidence? It wasn't like crazy questions. It was questions like, in hindsight, of course, and everything's hindsight. When you know somebody's murdered 4 people, it's like everything's kind of crazy.
The questions he asked seems like some just a normal, not even just a criminology expert, like, person though. Like, just a normal person would ask. Like, what did you think while doing this?
Yeah,
and it's like that's not normal in the mind. Like,
what makes it crazy is it's in hindsight, and then you're like, "Wow, this guy was a serial killer." So he was really thinking this stuff.
Yeah,
he posted this a few months. I'm not gonna give like exact. I don't know. He posted this a few months before the killings, at least that I know of. So it's something that's been on his mind, and I guess he followed the girls on Instagram. I don't know his motives behind killing most of them, honestly. Like, and maybe that'll come out.
I haven't heard any motives. Like, maybe they're just prime targets.
Most I know, or that I've read, I don't know anything. But
that's why I said everything's allegations. Everything we say on this is bullshit.
Also, any money, even though we don't make any money this video ever makes will go to the families or some charity that will help in cases like this, just in case you can't donate to the families.
Yeah, in case they're hard to find some.
Yeah.
I was on Facebook, and it's just weird how there was that Facebook group post after they were murdered, and Sam Smith was the guy's name or some shit, but it was like a picture.
No, it was like Pepper Sam.
Or Pepper Sam or some shit like that.
Pepper.
It was not a real name. Like, nobody was actually named this.
And he used the questions from that questionnaire.
No, his profile picture. You gotta talk about his profile picture.
Oh yeah, his profile picture was like,
you know those AI generated things that are going around where you the AI generate, you put your photo in and it'll give you cartoon version of yourself.
He had one of those as his like profile picture, and like
it's still alleged. So the profile picture, I mean, it looked like him. It was a side profile.
I don't know if it's actually come up, but here's
I don't know if I can put it up. I tried finding the Facebook group. I can't find shit.
Well, look, if we could find it.
I tried searching for keywords. I tried searching for like Bryan Kohberger Facebook group. I can't find nothing involving those keywords.
But on top of that, he'd use the questions from the questionnaire inside of the group post and then answer to them at the same time.
Yeah, to people in the comments. And he'll, like, if someone responds, and they'll be like, oh, man.
That's what I was going to use my phone for, but, yeah, I don't know. Tyler's picking.
Tyler, you can use your phone. Here, can I see it? Can you just go on Facebook? He essentially, he would ask the questions, and people in the comment section would answer them. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it.
Wait, I can still be on there.
Because it was one person that posted a bunch, right? And they posted him basically asking the questions, and anybody who responded, he'd have conversations with them. Like, he really wasn't. And this was after the murders. He was in a Facebook page that involved the Facebook page was over this, like, it was a discussion basically, and he was in it. One of the most craziest things he said in it was, "I don't think the white car is involved."
I know, dude. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Absolute genius,
what the fuck, dude? Goddamn.
The white car? Don't know about that one, guys.
I don't know. It was on camera, but was not involved.
Honestly, forget about that evidence.
And then people started going like, who are you? Why do you care so much? Like, no, he had like this discussion with this one person back and forth. Like, why do you care so much?
There's this one guy that he was talking to on Facebook. I saw it. And they were talking about if he carried the knife in his left hand or right hand when he walked in.
And if it was like, how big was the knife?
How big was the knife?
And if it had
did he have
a sheath.
And he's like, dude, why are you asking such weird questions? Like, what the fuck is
like,
going
who
through
cares?
your
Like, out of everything, why if he had a sheath?
Like, what the fuck's going on? And it's weird because I saw a body cam footage of him getting pulled over after he murdered them and leaving the scene. Or leaving fucking Moscow.
He got pulled over did he get pulled over here? Around here? Because what I know of, we watched a little briefing on it. It was like he got pulled over twice within a span of like 20 minutes.
No 10 minutes.
Because he had no front plate.
He was following too close. They said he was following too close.
Yeah, he got pulled over
times.
for following too close. 9 minutes later, this idiot follows too close again. He gets pulled over again.
I don't know if he was in a hurry to get home. I think his dad was with him. Or I don't know why the fuck.
His dad was with him, and they drove back to Pennsylvania. I don't know if he knew about the murder or not. On top of that, phones, fucking, I didn't realize how much they actually download what you do. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, they pay attention, bro. They need you. They get you.
One of the girls were on TikTok before they fucking died.
Like at 4, specifically, I think on the news is at 4:12 a.m.
So they think that like he got on. Some people are speculating that he might have gone on her phone to like so police would get thrown off and be like, well, she was on TikTok at this time. Her roommate also woke up around that time, but she doesn't really like know why.
Sounded like someone was playing with the dog.
And
but then a little bit later, it was like they said that a little bit later. Like at like 4:30 or something, which is after she was on TikTok, whatever. Muffled or like weird voices, like kind of like whimpering in a way, and then a loud bang.
Right here.
Or loud thump.
Arrest affidavit is out. Bryan Kohberger left the sheath of the murder weapon on the bed next to Maddie Mogan.
I also heard that he like came into the LC Valley. Before leaving the Pennsylvania.
No, before the murders, he was here.
Oh, before
in
the
Albertsons.
murders?
He was shopping in Clarkson Albertsons.
I thought that was after. But yeah, he was in Albertsons. You're not allowed to use Albertsons if you're a murderer. Come on.
He was at a couple places in Clarkston. He did one big loop. There's one giant.
See, this is what this says.
It's crazy thinking I could have drove past him.
Arrest affidavit is out. Bryan Kohberger left the sheath of the murder weapon on the bedside next to Maddie Mogan. The sheath was later processed and had a Ka-Bar USMC and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and the anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. DNA matched trashed outside of the Pennsylvania home. So they matched that to trash he like drank out of or something. First major new detail from the affidavit in the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. One of the surviving roommates opened her door after she heard crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. The man passed her as she stood in a frozen shock phase. He walked towards the black sliding glass door. She locked herself in her room. The car ended up being the key to this entire thing. The car spotted near the scene of the crime spotted in WSU surveillance cameras, then connected to Kohberger. The affidavit does not reveal anything about the motive behind the murders or anything about Kohberger's arrest.
Can I read something from that affidavit real fast? Gotta find it.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I need someone to make sense of it.
Wait, so that's like a roommate. So like he's in the house.
Yeah.
That's fucking
There was two roommates in the house when this happened.
I guess.
There was two roommates in the house when this happened. So there was the first floor. So they live in a rented fucking...
I'll try to edit this the best I can and give you guys the best visuals.
A rented house for like right across from the UI for campus. And it's a 3-story house, which I'm thinking maybe, and this is just my thought personally, that reason he didn't get to the first floor is because the first floor kind of just looks like somewhere you like just walk in. But this because the first floor is kind of like downhill, and then there's the second floor, which is like on the main street. If that makes sense, like the first floor is a basement almost. And then there's the third floor, which is like the upstairs story, which looks like the second story. You don't really know there's a third story. Because he entered through the sliding glass door on the second story. And then went up to the third floor. Didn't go down to the first floor. So the two roommates on the first floor lived. It was the second floor and the third floor where the murders happened.
So everybody died in the same house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the same house. 2 girls were found in the same bed, and then the girl and her boyfriend were found in separate parts of the room, but in the same room. That's all in this report.
That is nuts.
It's very weird. Because I guess if you were to live in a big city, maybe not this exact thing, but you're probably used to hearing murders, like stuff like that. From a small town of Memphis, Tennessee.
Parston.
He left a sheath on the knife next to the girls.
That stuff doesn't happen.
Huh?
He left a sheath on the knife next to the 2 girls that he followed from Grubhub.
He followed them from Grubhub? So,
Or the girls that were on Grubhub, those 2 girls.
what? Wait, what?
You know the ones that were on the Grubhub live video? Have you not seen that?
No.
The last moments before they lived, they were getting food from Grubhub and then went home and died.
Bro, that's awful to say. He followed them from Grubhub? So then, I wonder if he knew them.
Grubhub always live streams. 24/7. Like, every time they're on the fucking road, they're live streaming on Twitch.
I don't think that's Grubhub.
Wait.
You're talking about the food truck, huh? Mm-hmm. Grubhub is like Uber Eats.
Yeah, Grubhub is like DoorDash.
Oh, wait, yeah, then fucking...
That's why I was so confused. What do you mean Grubhub
no.
streams?
I'm not gonna go back.
Wait, that? Oh, wow. That's even crazier.
Sorry, Grub Truck.
Grub Truck. Yeah, it's a truck that live streams. We ate there.
I didn't know that.
Good
Yeah,
mac and
they're on-
cheese.
Yeah, they have good ass mac and cheese.
Dank ass mac and cheese.
I didn't know that we had something like that here.
And they live stream on Twitch.
That's kind of sick.
But it's just, I wonder if he knew them, or if he's just like, these are the people, or if he
that's why we have
stalked
to know the
them.
motive. Because from what it sounds like, because didn't he have a project to think in the mind of a killer too? Like his school project where he had to write like a paper on what it's like to be in the mind of a killer, or something like that. He had to write an essay. That's what I remember hearing at least.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know if he had a vendetta against them, or he was like, you know what, these people look pretty murderable.
And he's just like, it's for science, for research.
Yeah, for research purposes. How does a killer think?
I heard something, though, that he followed one of the girls' OnlyFans, but I've heard so much. I didn't even know, or followed their Instagrams at least. Something like that. Someone said OnlyFans. I don't know if that's fucking true, though. I think that the Moscow Police Department fucked up in the aspect, like, I understand that they, I don't know what the right move was. But a lot of people were scared. They thought that there was a serial killer release, like there was just a serial killer here, and they're just waiting for their next kill.
That's what everyone was thinking. Like everyone I talked to, at least, like, yep, we just have a serial killer. You can just come down here.
So I don't know
miles.
if the Moscow Police Department, if they knew that he was at least out of state, I think that would have been some helpful. Like, okay, guys, we know he's out of state. Like we know he's not a Moscow resident.
But. I guess saying we know he's not from Moscow, but you don't know he's out of state. Like, he's not in the state.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take from this what you want. On December 27th, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered trash from the Kohberger family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Evidence was submitted to Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28th, the Idaho State Lab reported the DNA obtained from the trash and the DNA profile from the sheath identified as the male not being excluded as the biological father of the suspect profile.
Wait, what?
What?
On December 27, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from Kohberger family residence from Pennsylvania. The evidence was sent to Idaho for testing. The next day, the state lab reported the DNA profile obtained from the trash and DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded from the biological father of the subject profile.
Oh, that's crazy.
So basically, he was related.
It could have been the dad?
I think what it's trying to say is that he was 99.9% related to the subject's profile.
Okay, can I read it too?
How many fucking retards does it take to read a fucking report?
It's not the fact that it says father is what is throwing me off.
I just read what that's
What I'm getting out of it is that they took the evidence of the father and they confirmed that the evidence. They probably asked the father, like, hey man, can we get your DNA? And then he was like, sure. and it's like this
it matched
is
99 points.
Because then later it says 99.7 men would not. You would not.
Oh, okay. Reading this, it makes a lot more. It's just identified a male not being excluded. So I think it's just saying like he isn't not part of it. Because DNA evidence. I think I remember hearing. It's like you do DNA evidence. It doesn't completely prove it's one person. It just narrows it down. So it sounds like what that's saying is like he's not excluded. He's in the list of potential because obviously you have relatives who could have the same genes or whatever. It was like he's in the list. It could be him. He's in like that DNA list, I guess. I think is what that's trying to say. He's
What?
not exclude. So like if there's a test like Caleb's DNA, right? He would be excluded from the list because it'd be like there wouldn't be enough similarities or whatever.
They're talking more about biological father.
See, I think biological father. I think they just use confusing wording. I don't think they're talking about I think like the father of the DNA.
And now a moment from our sponsors. So where you do the fact and fashion stuff. You know?
This episode's not sponsored.
This episode is not sponsored.
What?
Damn it.
This is the worst episode to throw me a sponsorship.
Why would you try to do a sponsor in this? What? He's on that grind.
Because all the things go to the proceeds of the family. I'm just trying to raise them some money. I'm a nice guy. What can I say?
There we go. Saved myself. He did it in Idaho. He fucked up. He's definitely gonna get the death sentence, which he deserves. He fucked up.
Yeah, you know, Idaho isn't a state to be messed with.
No, it's not.
So he effed around and he's about to find out.
Because each one of the murders, each one of the four carry like the maximum penalty you can give is life in prison or the death sentence for each of them. There's four.
The only thing I'm thinking that he's not going to get the death sentence because I know it's like rare for people to get the death sentence.
He killed 4 people, 4 young.
Does he deserve the
3
death
women?
With
Yes.
no motive.
No. Because what's worse, death sentence
Or rotting
life
forever?
in prison?
I actually
Life in prison is worse because you're gonna die. It's just gonna take 50 years. Why would you want to give him the sweet release of death? Make it slow and drawn out.
Jesus Christ.
The mind of a serial killer.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, he deserves that.
Like, well, that's what I'm thinking. Is like,
if
if you want to give him the worst punishment, death is an easy way out. Who knows, dude? Maybe in the coming weeks before the trial actually starts, he might just commit suicide.
that would be so.
It would. It would be very disappointing.
Coward.
Yeah, coward's way out. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people do that because, I mean, you're going to go to jail for life anyways or get the death sentence. Might as well choose the death sentence yourself. But I think they also have people, like, they put people going to trials and stuff on watch, like, 24/7, making sure they can't do that because, obviously, that's dumb. So...
Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of weirdos. Not weirdos.
Bunch of pansies.
We're just people talking about it.
Oh. We're not a bunch of pansies.
Oh, what? Why'd you gotta call us pansies? I call us weirdos. He's the fucking weirdo. We're just a bunch of fucking dumbasses talking about it.
I forget his name, but
our two-piece.
fuck a bitch, you pussy.
My bad.
I forget what his name is, but I hear Hawkeye ran over his leg with a snowcat.
Oh.
So that's where we're gonna end up this episode. Thank you for watching the Reverse Oreo Show. If you like this episode, put down in the comments. Also, put some down.
5 likes. We'll talk
missed.
about Hawkeye running over his leg with a snowcat.
What was that?
I said 5 likes. We'll talk about Hawkeye running over his leg.
Next episode. We'll talk about Hawkeye running over his foot with a snowcat. We'll talk about Logan Paul scamming his community.
Andrew Tate.
Getting arrested in Romania.
What do those have in common?
Andrew Tate, Greta Thunberg, pizza? Find out next episode.
Just subscribe.